deep within the heart of an ancient mountain range, where the cedar trees stand like silent giants and the mist clings to the mossy earth like a soft, white shroud, there lived a young novice monk named Zen. Zen was only 7 years old, with a spirit as bright as a summer morning and a mind that was always seeking, always questioning, and always trying to be useful. He wore simple indigo robes and lived in a small stone temple that had seen 1,000 winters. On this particular morning, Zen found himself at the edge of a crystal-clear stream that wound its way through the roots of the forest. He was not there to meditate, nor was he there to collect water. He was there because he had found a problem. In the very center of the stream sat a large, jagged gray boulder. To Zen's eyes, this boulder was an intruder. It was an obstacle that broke the harmony of the current. It forced the water to splash violently, creating white foam and murky bubbles where there should have been only clarity and calm. Zen decided that he would be the one to restore order. He stepped into the cold water, his small feet gripping the slippery pebbles, and he pressed his chest against the rough surface of the stone. He pushed with all the strength his small body could muster. He strained until his face turned a deep shade of red, until his breath came in ragged gasps, and until his muscles trembled with exhaustion. But the stone did not move. It sat there, heavy and indifferent, rooted to the bed of the mountain. We are so much like young Zen. We are born into a world that teaches us that strength is measured by resistance. We are told from our very first steps that if we encounter a wall, we must tear it down. If we encounter a problem, we must conquer it. We treat our lives like a series of battles to be won, constantly throwing our energy against the unmovable boulders of our circumstances. We fight against the people who annoy us. We fight against the jobs that drain us, and we fight against the memories that haunt us. We believe that if we can just push hard enough, the world will finally rearrange itself to fit the map we have drawn in our minds. But like Zen, we often find ourselves exhausted, shivering in the cold water of our own making, while the stone remains exactly where it was. As Zen sat in the water, defeated and angry, his teacher, Master Sora, appeared at the bank. The old monk did not speak. He simply sat on a fallen log and watched. He saw the boy's frustration, and he saw the way the water became muddy and turbulent every time Zen tried to fight it. Finally, Zen looked up, his eyes filled with tears of failure. "Master," he whispered, "I am not strong enough. The stone is blocking the way, and I cannot move it. The stream is ruined." Master Sora smiled, a gentle crinkling of his eyes that seemed to hold the wisdom of the entire forest. He did not offer to help move the stone. Instead, he made a simple gesture with his hand, pointing not at the rock, but at the water surrounding it. "Look closer, Zen," he said. "Stop looking at the obstacle and start looking at the flow." Healing begins the moment we shift our gaze. We spend so much time obsessing over the stone, the illness, the heartbreak, the financial struggle, that we forget to notice the water of our own consciousness. We think the problem is the external event, but the true source of our suffering is our insistence that the event should not be happening. We are in a state of war with reality. We want a life of only smooth surfaces, but life is a mountain stream, and mountain streams are defined by their rocks. Zen leaned in and watched the water. He saw that as the current approached the jagged edges of the boulder, it did not scream. It did not stop to argue. It did not demand that the rock move out of its way. The moment the water touched the obstacle, it simply yielded. It curled gracefully around the sides. It found the tiny crevices and the hidden paths. It went under, it went over, and it went around. And most importantly, on the other side of the rock, the water met itself again. It merged back into a single, peaceful flow, as if the obstacle had never been there at all. This is the secret of the universe that the water knows, and we have forgotten. Water is the strongest element on Earth not because it is hard, but because it is submissive. It has no shape of its own, so it can take any shape. It has no agenda, so it cannot be defeated. It does not fight the mountain. It simply follows the gravity of its own nature. When we learn to be like water, we realize that the stones in our lives are not there to stop us. They are the very things that give the water its song. Without the rocks, the stream would be silent. Without the challenges, our spirits would have no depth, no character, and no resilience. Zen stood up slowly. He let go of the boulder. He stopped trying to be the master of the stone and started being a student of the stream. He stood still in the current, letting the cold water rush past his legs. He closed his eyes and began to feel the rhythm of the forest. He realized that the water was never broken by the rock. It was only reshaped by it. The rock was not an enemy. It was a partner in the dance of the river. In the practice of mindfulness, we call this Wu Wei, the art of non-doing. It is not about being passive or lazy. It is about being perfectly aligned with the rhythm of existence. It is the realization that you don't need to move the stone to find peace. You only need to move with the stone. Chua Lan, the act of healing, is not the removal of life's difficulties. It is the removal of our resistance to them. It is the moment we stop saying, "This should not be," and start saying, "This is," and I will flow with it. As Zen walked back to the bank to sit beside his teacher, the forest seemed to change. The shadows were no longer gloomy. They were soft and protective. The sound of the water splashing against the rock was no longer a noise of conflict. It was a melody of the present moment. He looked at his hands, which were no longer red with strain, and he felt a joy that was quiet and deep. Most of us are exhausted because we are trying to carry the boulders of our lives on our shoulders. We think we are responsible for the shape of the river. But you are not the one who controls the water. You are the water. Your life is a current that has been flowing since the beginning of time, and it knows exactly where it is going. It knows how to navigate the canyons and how to fall over the cliffs. It knows how to rest in the deep pools and how to rush through the narrow straits. If you are feeling overwhelmed today, if you are feeling like the stones in your path are too large to move, remember young Zen. Let go of the rock. Stop pushing against the unmovable. Take a deep breath and feel the gravity of the present moment pulling you forward. Trust that the same intelligence that guides the stars and grows the lotus from the mud is also guiding you. The stone will stay where it is for as long as the mountain needs it to be there. Your job is not to move the stone. Your job is to be the water, to be fluid, to be soft, and to be relentless in your flow. The surface of your life may be turbulent, but the depth of your being is as vast and as calm as the ocean that all rivers eventually find. Touch the present. Do not look back at the rocks you have already passed, and do not fear the rocks that lie ahead in the mist. There is only this breath, this current, and this moment. When you stop fighting, the silt of your mind begins to settle. The water becomes clear, and in that clarity, you can finally see the reflection of the sky. Be like water, my friend. Flow around the jagged edges of your sorrow until you find the gold of your own peace. The river is taking you home, and the river never gets lost.